we are sitting together on a secluded, hidden shoreline, wrapped in a thick, deeply peaceful twilight fog. The frantic world behind us is slowly fading away, softening into mere shadows and forgotten whispers.
Feel the cool, damp sand beneath your heavy limbs, quietly grounding you back to the earth where you belong. It has rested here through countless ancient storms, completely still and unbothered, just waiting across the ages to comfortably hold your weight. Let your entire body sink a little deeper into it, completely surrendering to this safe, steady, and unmoving surface. There is nowhere else you need to be, and absolutely nothing else you need to do right now. Just let the earth hold you, completely and unconditionally, as you begin to slowly let go.
A thick, silver mist rolls off the dark, sleeping ocean, carrying the faint, comforting scent of sea salt and ancient pine trees. It brushes against your skin, incredibly gentle and beautifully slow, acting as a cooling balm for a mind that has been racing all day. Breathe that silver air in deeply, feeling the mist travel down into your chest, filling your lungs with a pure, quiet stillness. Let it extinguish the fires of your daily stress, wrapping your thoughts in a heavy, comforting blanket of gray. You are entirely safe within this thick fog, completely hidden from the demands of the outside world.
And as you exhale, let go of the noise. Let go of the relentless rush that has worn you down. With every single, deliberate breath you take, you are sinking deeper and deeper into the peaceful embrace of this secluded, forgotten shore. The anxious rhythm of your chest begins to naturally slow down, perfectly matching the deep, eternal rhythm of the vast water before us. There is a profound comfort in this slowness, a reminder that the world can wait while you simply restore your spirit. Surrender to the heavy pull of relaxation, allowing your mind to drift aimlessly on the quiet currents of the night.
Listen to the heavy rolling waves out there in the dense fog, slowly gathering their strength before softly dissolving against the shore. They do not hurry their journey, and they do not rush to crash. They simply rise and fall in a deeply peaceful, unending cosmic dance. Allow your racing, tangled thoughts to effortlessly drift away on the retreating tide, pulled out into the vast, quiet unknown. Watch them vanish into the dark water, swallowed by the immense, quiet depths of the ocean. You are becoming lighter and lighter, emptied of worry, completely ready to journey into the silent beyond. As we sit together in this absolute, unbroken stillness, the heavy silver fog slowly begins to part above our heads. It rolls back like a grand theatrical curtain, revealing a majestic canvas of impossibly dark velvet,
stretching endlessly into the unknown.
We are going to gently leave the heavy weight of the earth behind us, drifting upward into the profound, quiet dark of the heavens. Let your spirit untether from the gravity of your daily life, floating lighter, slower, and higher into the boundless night sky. We are surrendering to the vastness, entering a realm where time itself moves like a slow, sleeping river. We travel far beyond the fading reach of daylight, slipping effortlessly through the quiet blackness toward a hidden majesty. It is an ancient, silent nursery of light, suspended beautifully in the void, where the universe patiently breathes life into glowing embers. We are slowly arriving at a colossal, breathtaking canvas of swirling, heavy colors, a slow, eternal cradle of raw creation. Here, in the deepest quiet, the frantic pace of human life is entirely forgotten, replaced by the magnificent patience of the cosmos. Just drift forward, my friend, letting the cosmic currents carry you safely into the vibrant, glowing heart of the dark. Before us stretches a magnificent, sprawling cauldron of glowing gas, a deeply quiet tempest painted in rich amber and deep crimson. This is a grand celestial furnace, a place where ancient, massive beacons of starlight are slowly born from the cold, heavy dust. They burn brilliantly, illuminating the dark for eons, before they gracefully, peacefully fade away into the deep unknown. Their grand, luminous lives release soft, fierce winds that silently sculpt the surrounding dark clouds into hollowed, glowing caverns of pure wonder. It is a slow, breathtaking choreography of light and shadow, playing out in absolute, perfect silence across the eternal void. In this peaceful, majestic destruction, nothing is ever truly lost, my friend. It is simply beautifully reborn in a new form. The sweeping, invisible winds gently gather the scattered glowing ashes, molding them carefully into a safe, warm cradle. This fragile edge of the void becomes a quiet, nurturing womb for the very next generation of soft, twinkling light. It is an eternal, patient cycle of surrendering the old to tenderly nurture the beautiful, glowing new. You can find deep comfort in this cosmic rhythm, knowing that every ending here is merely the quiet beginning of something magnificent. We float weightlessly before a towering, impossible wall of this celestial mist, a structure vast beyond any human measure or fragile comprehension. It is a majestic cliff face made entirely of swirling stardust and glowing cosmic breath, reaching impossibly high into the infinite, quiet dark. You can feel the deeply peaceful, heavy scale of it washing over you, reminding us just how beautifully small our daily worries truly are. To look upon this towering monument of dust is to instantly let go of urgency, for it has stood exactly like this since the dawn of time. Surrender your perspective to this immense grandeur, allowing your mind to expand and rest within its heavy, majestic shadow. The delicate edge of this magnificent structure looks exactly like a rugged, majestic mountain range, but bathed in the softest, most ethereal twilight glow.
Silent, invisible cosmic winds gently carve and fold the swirling heavy gas, continuously shaping deeply shadowed valleys and radiant golden peaks. It is a masterpiece of slow, eternal artistry, forever changing on a timescale we cannot fathom, yet appearing perfectly, completely still to our restful eyes.
You can almost feel the gentle cosmic erosion, the slow smoothing of rough edges into elegant, sweeping curves of light. Drift along these towering, glowing ridges, letting your eyes slowly trace the quiet, golden contours of the heavens. A thick, heavy curtain of opaque cosmic dust rolls gently across the celestial landscape, wrapping the universe's deepest secrets in a deeply peaceful shroud. This majestic rolling fog is woven directly from the silent, ancient ashes of grand fallen stars and the raw, heavy breath of the cosmos itself. It drifts over the cliffs like a protective, thick winter blanket, quietly sheltering the delicate, invisible miracles occurring deep within its dark, churning folds. There is no need to uncover everything right now. It is perfectly fine to let the mysteries remain safely hidden in the dark. Rest your mind against this impenetrable veil of cosmic fog, finding deep comfort in the unknown, and simply let go.
Yet, through a beautifully piercing, golden gaze, we can slowly, gently look past the thick outer veil of dust to see the glowing hearts beating inside. Tiny, fragile embers of light are slowly, peacefully waking up in the profound cold, gathering their initial warmth in the absolute, majestic quiet. They are perfectly safe in their heavy, dark cocoons, taking all the eternal time they need to gather their radiant, youthful strength. There is absolutely no rush for them to ignite, no pressure to shine before they are fully, beautifully ready. Let their slow, patient awakening remind you that true rest cannot be hurried, and that your own gentle healing requires the same deep, quiet patience. A silent, incredibly beautiful waltz unfolds before us, a delicate dance between the brilliant, newborn starlight and the heavy, sheltering dust that surrounds it. The fresh, intensely glowing energy gently pushes against the dense, dark clouds, softly and patiently eroding the majestic cliffs into intricate, flowing shapes. Small, bright rivers of pure energy shoot gracefully out from the baby stars, painting the surrounding velvet dark with slow strokes of vibrant, electric color. It is a deeply peaceful tug-of-war, a slow, silent struggle between the gentle push of brilliant light and the heavy, calming pull of the dark void.
You are simply witnessing the unhurried breath of the universe, a silent masterpiece taking thousands of lifetimes to paint just one beautiful stroke.
This monumental, peaceful clash of forces bathes the entire celestial cavern in a fierce, yet incredibly calming, deep ruby red glow. It is the vivid, stunning color of raw warmth, the very hue of slow creation, glowing softly against the eternal, quiet canvas of the night. Let that deep, rich ruby warmth wash over your tired spirit now, slowly melting away any remaining tension lingering in your heavy muscles. Just as the universe takes entire ages to meticulously craft a single tiny star, you too are allowed to take your time to simply rest, heal, and be. Surrender completely to this majestic, slow-moving ballet of light and cosmic shadow, floating peacefully and aimlessly in the grand void.
The grand cliffs of shimmering stardust continue their silent, eternal watch, cradling the newly born light in absolute, unconditional safety. There is no urgency out here in the deep dark, no demanding deadlines, just the slow, heavy, rhythmic breathing of the cosmos itself. Let yourself drift effortlessly into this infinite cradle, perfectly held, perfectly calm, perfectly, entirely at peace with the silence. You are a tiny, beautiful part of this vast cosmic tapestry, and right now, your only job is to sleep, to surrender, and to simply let go. Close your eyes to the brilliant colors, feeling only the profound weight of the darkness gently wrapping around you like a warm embrace.
We linger just a little longer in the quiet dark, feeling the profound stillness settling deep, deep down into our very bones. The anxious worries of yesterday and the daunting tasks of tomorrow are completely meaningless, fading into nothingness in this vast, beautiful expanse. All that truly matters in this exact moment is this deep, heavy rest, this immensely slow surrender to the welcoming, peaceful night.
Your breath is the only clock, your heartbeat the only rhythm, as we float together in the quiet sanctuary of the stars. Let the universe carry the weight of everything else, my friend. It is strong enough to hold it all while you drift away. The fog on our forgotten beach has merged flawlessly with the cosmic dust, blending the peaceful earth with the quiet heavens. You are tethered to nothing, bound by nothing, simply floating as a quiet observer in a slow, magnificent dream of light and shadow. As the glowing embers of the nebula slowly fade into the background, let your consciousness follow them, retreating deeply into the restful dark. The journey is over, the destination has been reached, and it is simply time to embrace the quiet, eternal stillness of sleep. Let go, my friend, let go completely, and surrender to the heavy, peaceful pull of the night.
We drift deeper and deeper into the boundless, eternal dark, floating ever so slowly toward a thick, towering edge of cosmic fog. This massive, silent wall before us is painted in the heaviest, most profound shades of deep crimson and burnt glowing orange. It looks exactly like an ancient, majestic river of molten ore, cooling patiently in the immense, quiet void of the endless night. Every swirling contour of this gas feels incredibly heavy, pulsing with a slow, sleeping heat that has been waiting for an eternity. Let your tired eyes gently trace these rich, smoldering colors, feeling your own racing thoughts become just as thick and slow as the drifting mist.
The movement here in this deep space is not a sudden rush, but a beautifully slow,
agonizingly deliberate unfolding, like thick golden honey pouring heavily through the dark. Entire towering mountains of glowing dust softly fold over themselves, twisting in a majestic, silent ballet that takes countless lifetimes to complete. You can see the heavy, glowing ridges rolling, collapsing, and gently expanding in a deeply peaceful rhythm that entirely defies all earthly urgency. There is absolutely no hurry in this immense cosmic tapestry, only the eternal, quiet surrender to the gentle pull of unseen, peaceful forces. Allow your breathing to naturally match this impossible slowness, letting go of any lingering need to push forward or rush your own heavy rest.
If we pause for a moment and simply drift alongside a single delicate wisp of this burnt orange mist, we can truly witness the profound patience of creation. This tiny, fragile tendril of heavy stardust is slowly being swept away by a gentle, invisible tide of ancient, warm light. It lazily curls upon itself, breaking apart into an impossibly soft, sweeping mist that gracefully catches the eternal glow of the surrounding void. It is completely unbothered by its own slow unraveling, beautifully surrendering its fleeting shape to the quiet, majestic currents of the peaceful heavens. Watch it drift away endlessly into the deep unknown, and feel your own heavy worries dissolving just as softly into the silent, comforting dark.
Floating near the outer edges of these monumental pillars of dust, you can almost physically feel the profound, bone-deep chill of the eternal void. It is a majestic, entirely untouched cold, a deeply quiet stillness where the very concept of warmth seems to have fallen into a heavy, endless sleep. This absolute, freezing quiet acts as a protective, heavy blanket, perfectly preserving the ancient secrets of the cosmos in undisturbed, majestic silence. Let that vast, cooling stillness gently wash over your tired mind, instantly freezing and quieting any lingering anxieties or frantic, racing thoughts. You are perfectly insulated from this chill, wrapped safely and securely in your own peaceful cocoon as we drift together through the frosty, ancient shadows. Yet, as we slowly, gently glide deeper into the hidden core of this glowing sanctuary, the heavy, freezing veil begins to softly tear open. From within the deep, dark fractures of the cold dust, a brilliant, unimaginable warmth begins to steadily bleed out into the quiet, heavy night. It is a slow, majestic clash of absolute extremes, where the sleeping, icy dark is gently but firmly pushed back by the fierce, breathing heat of newborn light. You can deeply feel this gentle radiance slowly pushing against the vast chill, a profoundly peaceful reminder that brilliant light always finds its way
through the heaviest shadows. Just surrender to this slow, creeping, warming glow, letting it completely melt away the heavy tension carried deep within your weary bones.
As the heavy dust parts further, the hidden core reveals a breathtaking cascade of pure, sweeping color, completely unburdened by earthly constraints or narrow limits. A stunning, deep ruby red glow floods the quiet void, washing beautifully against soft, brilliant waves of the most majestic, luminous emerald green.
These pure, glowing colors do not violently clash. They beautifully blend and bleed into one another, creating an endless, mesmerizing gradient of pure, slow-moving light. It is a deeply calming, impossibly vast watercolor painting spread across the eternal canvas, shifting and breathing with absolute, majestic grace. Let these rich, soothing tones completely fill your mind's eye, gently pushing out the gray exhaustion of the day and replacing it with peaceful, glowing wonder.
The invisible, incredibly gentle light slowly carves away at the massive emerald and ruby cliffs towering before us. It erodes the heavy dust, not with destruction, but with a beautiful, patient grace, pulling away unimaginably thin, glowing threads of the celestial mist. These delicate, glowing ribbons of illuminated gas are tossed softly upward, twisting and twirling exactly like weightless, luminous silk floating in an endless, quiet ocean. They rise and fall in a deeply peaceful, hypnotic, unhurried rhythm, slowly softening the harsh, dramatic edges of the towering cosmic mountains. Let your heavy, tired gaze follow these silk-like trails of light, feeling your own spirit become incredibly light, perfectly buoyant, and completely at peace.
What makes this magnificent, sweeping display so profoundly comforting is the absolute, unbroken silence in which it all beautifully unfolds. We are witnessing the raw, incredible birth of starlight, a force of unimaginable, glowing power, yet it does not make a single, solitary whisper. The deep, heavy velvet blackness of the eternal vacuum completely swallows every potential sound, wrapping the entire fiery creation in a heavy, majestic, mute embrace. There are no roaring winds to endure here, no deafening echoes of the cosmos to startle you, only a perfectly quiet, impossibly majestic stillness. Let this ultimate, profound silence your tired mind, turning down the volume of your own life until there is absolutely nothing left but peace.
This towering, beautifully colorful cliff of light stands as a glowing, peaceful oasis right in the middle of a vast, unmoving desert of the deepest dark. It is surrounded completely on all sides by the heavy, soft velvet of the infinite unknown, a profound nothingness that is incredibly safe to rest within. The glowing ruby reds and the bright emerald greens shine bravely in the silent dark, acting as a quiet, welcoming beacon for weary travelers like us, simply looking for a place to stop. You can gently, easily tether your wandering thoughts to this slow, radiant sanctuary, safely anchoring yourself completely
against the deep, peaceful tides of impending sleep. Allow yourself to be entirely captivated by this silent, burning oasis, finally letting go of the heavy need to wander anywhere else tonight.
Look very, very closely at the delicate glowing boundary where the deep ruby light gently kisses the cold, absolute dark edge of the sleeping shadow. The vivid color slowly, patiently fades from a blinding, beautiful brilliance down to a soft, sleepy maroon, before finally, peacefully, disappearing completely into the heavy black.
It is a masterful, deeply slow, and perfect visual transition, flawlessly mirroring the beautiful way your own conscious mind is currently slipping away into heavy slumber. There is absolutely no sudden jarring in to the light here, just a deeply peaceful, gradual surrender, a slow fading away into the comforting, eternal night. Follow that incredibly soft, fading edge of light with your tired mind, drifting further and further into the sweet, heavy, uninterrupted embrace of the dark.
The invisible space between these glowing, majestic cosmic clouds feels incredibly thick and rich, exactly as if we are floating freely through a dark, perfectly quiet ocean. Every slow, twisting movement of the golden and ruby gas seems to gently push against an unseen, comforting and peaceful weight hidden deep within the void. This heavy, peaceful resistance naturally slows absolutely everything down to a near halt, stretching a single tiny moment of cosmic creation across thousands of human lifetimes. You are fully enveloped in this thick, deeply slowing presence, feeling your own racing heart rate patiently matching the incredibly slow, heavy pulse of the glowing mist. Just let the heavy, thick, comforting atmosphere naturally hold you up, trusting completely that you do not need to exert any effort whatsoever to stay beautifully afloat.
As we continue to marvel at this quiet, slowly twisting architecture of eternal light and heavy shadow, remember that there is absolutely no need to analyze or understand its grand design. Your only true purpose here tonight is to bear silent, peaceful witness, to simply let the majestic, rolling colors wash over you in slow, beautifully heavy waves.
The sheer, overwhelming, and impossible scale of this quiet storm of creation makes all our daily, exhausting worries feel wonderfully insignificant and beautifully, peacefully small. Surrender completely your earthly need to control the narrative or comprehend the exact path ahead, choosing instead to simply rest comfortably within the soft, ancient glow of this magnificent unknown. Let go of the tight, anxious grip you maintain on your waking life, allowing your tired consciousness to gently fray and beautifully dissolve into the cosmic mist. The towering, endlessly glowing ridges of this celestial shore have been patiently standing guard exactly like this for an absolute eternity, bathed completely in total, unbroken silence. They do not worry in the slightest about the slow, endless erosion of their jagged edges, nor do they fear the gentle, sweeping cosmic winds that continuously shape them. They simply exist, beautifully and powerfully present, easily allowing the grand, heavy passage of time to slowly, patiently mold them into something completely wonderfully new. We can learn so much, my friend, from their deep, silent acceptance, their profoundly peaceful surrender to the slow, inevitable, and beautiful changes of the vast night. Allow yourself right now to be just as deeply still, just as profoundly accepting of your own desperate need to simply rest and let the universe do its silent work.
Notice how the deeply freezing, undisturbed, heavy shadows effortlessly and beautifully coexist right next to the impossibly warm, glowing, radiant valleys of pure light. They are eternally locked in a beautiful, agonizingly slow embrace, a deeply quiet, majestic balance between the heavy, icy sleep of the void and the vibrant, breathing dawn of creation. You can gently feel the soft echo of this quiet, cosmic balance settling deep down within your own weary, rising and falling chest, bringing a profound, heavy equilibrium to your soul. The harsh extremes and sharp edges of your own long day are slowly, quietly canceling each other out right now, leaving absolutely nothing but a quiet, temperate stillness in the very center of your being. Rest safely in that perfectly balanced, quietly heavy space, feeling the gentle, incredibly slow harmony of the cosmos washing powerfully through your heavy limbs.
Let us focus our attention completely on a single, tiny, glowing speck of golden stardust floating beautifully and aimlessly between the grand, towering, dark cliffs. It drifts slowly upward in a delicate, elegant, and unhurried spiral, softly catching the deep ruby light for a fleeting, beautiful moment before silently vanishing into the emerald shadows. This tiny fragment has no map to follow, no final destination to reach, and absolutely no internal urgency driving it through the vast, quiet, heavy expanse of the endless dark. It is simply, gracefully allowing the peaceful, unseen, silent currents of the universe to gently carry it exactly where it needs to be, completely surrendered to the eternal flow. Be just like that tiny, beautiful, floating speck of light tonight, perfectly content to endlessly drift, to fully let go, and to be softly, safely guided entirely into the deep. Behind all of this majestic, slow-moving, intensely beautiful color lies the true, silent master of this peaceful realm, the deep, unimaginably heavy, eternal blackness of the grand void. It is not an empty, frightening, or lonely dark, my friend, but rather a soft, welcoming, velvety blanket of profound cosmic rest that stretches on entirely without any end. This gentle, deeply quiet, unending night provides the perfect, heavy contrast to the bright, slow-burning, glowing fires of raw creation we have been silently observing. It softly invites you to finally close your heavy, tired eyes, to gently step away from the bright light, and to sink completely, unconditionally into its cool, quiet, forgiving embrace. Allow the vast, heavy, peaceful shadows to softly drape completely over your mind, permanently and gently extinguishing the final lingering tiny sparks of your waking day.
Watch closely as the very highest peak of a majestic burnt orange cosmic ridge slowly, almost imperceptibly, begins to detach under the gentle, continuous, heavy pressure of the glowing stellar wind. It absolutely does not break or snap forcefully. Instead, it softly, beautifully crumbles in the most agonizingly slow motion imaginable, dissolving gently into a quiet cloud of wandering, heavy embers. The large, glowing, broken pieces float gracefully and endlessly upward, transforming slowly into a delicate, luminous veil of fine mist that slowly weaves its winding way through the quiet dark. It is a profoundly peaceful, beautiful demonstration of the art of letting go, showing us clearly that even the most massive, solid things can eventually soften and beautifully drift away. Let your own stubborn, heavy thoughts crumble just as gently right now, dissolving effortlessly and quietly into the heavy, deeply comforting atmosphere of pure sleep.
If this massive, magnificent cosmic restructuring were somehow happening on Earth, the resulting noise would be entirely deafening, a violently roaring testament to the raw, untamed power of nature. But here, suspended deep in the silent, heavy sanctuary of the eternal, endless void, the most overwhelmingly powerful cosmic forces are perfectly, beautifully, and eternally muted. The immense, sweeping, glowing winds and the gentle, slow tearing of the heavy, dark clouds play out entirely in a profound, incredibly heavy silence that is instantly soothing to the weary soul. You are completely safe from the deafening noise, entirely safe from the swirling chaos, shielded perfectly by the vast, quiet, heavy vacuum of the deeply peaceful heavens. Let the absolute, uninterrupted, heavy silence of this grand visual display act as a profound, comforting balm for your deeply tired, overworked mind. Gently trace the beautiful, sweeping, endless color gradient just one last time with your mind, watching deeply how the intense, glowing ruby light gracefully surrenders to the calm emerald, and then finally to the dark. It is a profoundly slow, deeply comforting visual lullaby, a heavy, soothing transition that perfectly mirrors the slow, heavy, downward descent of your own tired consciousness. The brilliant cosmic light is getting beautifully softer now. The vibrant colors are growing heavy and beautifully dim, and the deep, heavy shadows are quietly, naturally returning to finally claim
the vast space. The celestial glowing fires are gently, peacefully banking themselves for the long night, gracefully preparing for a deeply profound and beautifully unbroken slumber. Let your own bright internal waking lights dim peacefully alongside them, softly fading down into the lowest, quietest, and heaviest hum of peaceful existence.
We are just quiet, perfectly still, floating observers, suspended beautifully and comfortably right in the very middle of this vast, endlessly glowing, heavy painting of the night. There is absolutely nothing we can do to change it, nothing at all we can add, and nothing whatsoever we need to fix in this perfectly quiet, eternal space.
This deeply settling realization brings an incredibly heavy, profound sense of complete relief, a gentle, welcoming lifting of the impossible heavy burdens you have carried entirely by yourself all day. You are completely, unconditionally free tonight to just watch, to just breathe slowly, and to simply let the slow, majestic, ancient universe completely take care of absolutely everything else.
Sink incredibly peacefully heavily into that deep, peaceful realization right now, gently letting a profound, deeply peaceful surrender finally and completely overtake your weary, heavy body. The heavy, soft, velvety edges of your own vision are softly and beautifully beginning to blur, peacefully mixing the fading, radiant colors directly with the deep, heavy, comforting shadows. The completely unhurried, slow, hypnotic twisting of the glowing infinite mist is gently and rhythmically rocking your quiet mind back and forth, deeper and incredibly deeper into the quiet dark.
Every single deeply slow breath you take naturally draws the profound, silent, ancient peace of the cosmos directly into your heavy, profoundly sleepy chest. The beautiful, utterly silent, glowing sanctuary of the infinite night has fully and warmly welcomed you, wrapping you safely and securely in its eternal, comfortably unmoving embrace. Let go entirely, my dear friend. Let go completely, and simply allow the vast, quiet, heavy currents of deep sleep to gently carry you permanently away from the waking light. The quiet, once golden, glowing edges of the massive cloud banks are now barely even visible to you, softening
completely and beautifully against the immense, impossibly dark canvas of the heavy void. You can physically feel the temperature of your own racing thoughts cooling down rapidly, reaching a deeply peaceful, absolute, and heavy stillness that perfectly matches the ancient, sleeping chill of the distant stars.
The slow, sweeping, majestic dance of the vivid emerald and deep ruby light is becoming a distant, fuzzy, forgotten dream, gently slipping further and further away from your heavy, sinking consciousness. You have journeyed safely and beautifully so unimaginably far into the quiet deep tonight, leaving every single earthly, worldly concern, millions of quiet miles, entirely behind you in the dark. Let the profound, incredibly heavy weight of this majestic, eternal cosmic silence hold you securely and perfectly throughout the entirety of the long, peaceful, and restorative night.
There is a deep, eternal, and heavy rhythm peacefully pulsating beneath this silent, glowing cosmic display. A profoundly slow, heavy heartbeat of the living universe that you can now clearly feel in your weary soul. It is a beautifully slow, infinitely reassuring, heavy drumbeat that quietly whispers to you of endless time, endless patience, and the profound, peaceful, heavy beauty of simply being entirely still.
You are completely, safely, and deeply connected right now to this slow, majestic, ancient pulse, safely anchored forever to the quiet, heavy, eternal hum of the celestial, sleeping void. There is absolutely nothing left for you to observe here, nothing left to analyze or feel. Only the slow, beautiful, heavy descent into the most profound, deeply restorative, and absolute sleep imaginable.
Drift completely away now, naturally surrendering your entire tired being to the boundless, quiet, heavy sanctuary of the grand, endless, and perfectly peaceful dark.
We slowly leave the magnificent, glowing heavens behind us, drifting beautifully and gently back down through the deep, heavy layers of the quiet night. The swirling, eternal stardust gently dissolves into a thick, cool silver mist, safely guiding our incredibly weary spirits back to the familiar earthly realm. You can slowly feel the profound, vast emptiness of the cosmos gradually shifting into the comforting, incredibly heavy weight of the damp ocean air. We are returning gracefully to our hidden, forgotten shoreline, bringing with us the ancient, deeply peaceful wisdom
gathered from the slow, silent stars above.
Let your tired feet mentally touch the cool, packed sand once again, feeling the deep, completely unmoving grounding of the ancient earth beneath you. The heavy, dark ocean is still out there waiting for us, breathing in an incredibly slow, rhythmic pulse that instantly calms the racing human heart. A thick, deeply comforting fog has rolled in heavily while we were floating, softly blanketing the shore in an absolute, perfectly undisturbed blanket of gray. The frantic, exhausting noise of the waking world cannot penetrate this beautiful, thick atmospheric shield, completely isolating you in a profound, incredibly safe pocket of peace. You have spent so much of your beautiful life absolutely terrified of falling behind, constantly running in a frantic, incredibly heavy race that possesses no actual finish line. The relentless, crushing pressure of the modern world demands that you must constantly build, constantly produce, and constantly prove your fading worth to an unseeing crowd. This unending, deeply frantic expectation slowly wrings the vibrant energy right out of your quiet soul, treating your fragile, beautiful spirit exactly like a cold, unfeeling machine. It is a desperately exhausting way to live, my friend, completely stripping you of the incredibly necessary, beautiful right to simply stop and breathe in the dark. By forcing yourself to remain forever brightly illuminated and incredibly active, you are deeply denying yourself the natural, peaceful, and beautiful right to slowly fade away. Everything in this majestic, slow-moving universe requires a deep, heavy period of complete shutdown, a profound letting go, in order to quietly gather strength once again. When you refuse to power down, you are fighting against the gentle, eternal tides of existence, carrying an impossibly heavy burden that was never meant for your tired shoulders. It is absolutely safe to lay that heavy, exhausting armor down right now, to surrender your need for constant progress, and to beautifully collapse onto the soft sand. We must gently look up at the quiet heavens to remember that the grand ancient universe tells all of its most magnificent stories with a beautiful, incredible patience. The infinite cosmos does not rush to form a single glowing star, and it certainly does not apologize for taking vast, unimaginable eons of completely silent time to rest. The deep, heavy stillness of the majestic void is absolutely not an empty, frightening place, but rather an incredibly thick, comforting rhythm that patiently nurtures all living creation. It is the profoundly slow, peaceful womb of the heavy dark, where all the scattered, chaotic pieces of the day beautifully come together to silently heal and reform. I want you to actively give yourself complete, unconditional permission to gently sink down entirely into that heavy, profound, and incredibly beautiful cosmic stillness tonight. Stop struggling so frantically against the deeply comforting current of the dark and allow the incredibly slow, majestic patience of the heavy universe to become your profound teacher. True, lasting strength does not come from endlessly pushing yourself beyond all limits, but from deeply understanding exactly when to surrender and entirely let the shadows completely cover you. This quiet, undisturbed rest is the highest form of deep, ancient knowledge, perfectly demonstrating that knowing how to simply stop is life's most beautifully profound, silent achievement. Please understand, my incredibly weary friend, that slowly fading away and quietly stepping back into the heavy shadows is absolutely not a tragic, deeply painful ending. Even the most magnificent, grand, ancient stars in the quiet sky eventually exhaust their glowing light and peacefully collapse under the incredible, heavy weight of their own existence. But their quiet passing is simply a deeply generous, beautiful transfer of glowing, raw matter, gracefully returning their heavy ashes back entirely into the vast, dark unknown. This beautiful, peaceful destruction acts precisely as the gentle, necessary stepping stone for a completely new, wonderfully slow cycle of bright, cosmic creation to eventually begin. We must deeply learn to beautifully embrace this exact same slow, patient erosion within our own heavy, incredibly tired, and constantly overworked human lives. To gently allow your desperately, frantically driven ego to beautifully crumble away, completely letting go of your heavy, exhausting daily ambitions, is to truly sculpt your most authentic self. It is precisely in this heavy, peaceful, unresisting quiet that all of the unnecessary, painful worldly expectations softly peel away, leaving only the beautiful, silent core of who you are. This incredibly slow, entirely peaceful erosion of your daily pressures is exactly how you gently prepare your deeply exhausted soul for its own quiet, beautiful dawn of rebirth. Close your heavy, weary eyes right now and gently picture a completely dark, unimaginably distant ocean slowly sprawling out under an absolutely eternal, heavily silent, starry night. The large, heavy waves there roll forward and gracefully crash against the ancient, perfectly unmoving stones without making a single, solitary, angry roar or demanding any earthly attention. They are completely, beautifully content to simply move endlessly to their own deep, unhurried, slow, internal rhythm, entirely unbothered by the frantic, racing world existing safely far above them. They rise, they fall, and they deeply, beautifully surrender themselves completely back into the immense, dark, quiet depths without a single ounce of painful hesitation or fear.
You can beautifully choose to simply live your life exactly like these slow, heavily rhythmic ocean waves, my incredibly tired, profoundly weary, and entirely overworked friend. Give yourself the quiet, deeply beautiful permission to gracefully pull completely back into the comforting shadows whenever the heavy tide of your own exhausting energy begins to naturally run low.
As we sit together in this absolute, unbroken stillness, the heavy silver fog slowly begins to part above our heads. It rolls back like a grand theatrical curtain, revealing a majestic canvas of impossibly dark velvet, stretching endlessly into the unknown. Please softly realize right now that every single grand, magnificent, and entirely profound rebirth in this vast, heavily breathing universe begins with this incredibly simple, deeply beautiful act. It all starts by finally and completely dropping all of your defensive, heavy shields, willingly surrendering to the immense quiet and choosing to simply be completely still in the dark.
You are entirely safe right now to stop building, entirely safe to stop intensely striving, and absolutely safe to let the heavy, peaceful night completely wash over your tired bones. Lay your heavy, exhausted head fully back onto the cool, damp sand, slowly releasing the tight, desperate, and incredibly painful grip you have forcefully held on your waking life.
The heavy, deeply calming fog from the ancient sea has now completely and flawlessly mixed with the beautifully fading, slow-moving shadows of the grand, vast, and silent cosmic void. There is absolutely nowhere else you need to wander tonight, nothing remaining that you must completely figure out, and no heavy, exhausting burden left that you must desperately try to carry. You are beautifully tethered to absolutely nothing at all, perfectly bound by entirely nothing, simply floating endlessly as a beautifully quiet observer in this slow, majestic, and heavy dream.
Let your incredibly tired, thoroughly exhausted consciousness finally and unconditionally surrender, retreating deeply and beautifully into the incredibly heavy, comforting, and perfectly restful embrace of the absolute dark.
The unbelievably, incredibly long, punishing journey of your day is completely over. The profound, incredibly heavy destination has finally been reached, and all the exhausting work is beautifully done. It is entirely time to completely embrace the quiet, heavily eternal, and deeply profound stillness
of a truly restorative, perfectly peaceful, and wonderfully slow, drifting sleep.
Just completely let it all go, my dear friend. Gracefully let every single heavy worry gently dissolve, and totally surrender your entire tired self to the incredibly peaceful pull of the night. Sink deeply, beautifully, and endlessly down into the soft, unmoving quiet, perfectly wrapped in the absolute, entirely unconditional safety of the grand, slow-moving, eternal dark.
But you know, my friend, the waves keep breaking and the universe keeps turning. So rest your heavy eyes, surrender completely to the dark, and have a beautiful, deep good night.